Here are the video solutions for Pearson Edexcel Functional Skills Maths Level 2. This is section A, which is the non-calculator section from past paper 6. So let's get started. Let's take a look at question number 1. So Jai needs to buy 25 lollipops, that's a key number. A normal selection bag contains 18 but is 1/3 extra free. So what is 1/3 of 18? Well, 1/3 of 18 is 18 divided by 3, which is 6. So there is an additional 6. 18 plus 6 is 24. So he thinks he'll have enough lollipops. No, he will not have enough lollipops. He will be short by 1. So he will have 24, not 25. All words to that effect will be fine. So move on to question number 2. So here we're using the formula. We know that n is 5. So let's substitute any letter n with the number 5. So d equals 180 in brackets 5 minus 2 over 5. So d equals, well, we need to sort out the brackets first, so that's 100 and in brackets 3 over 5. Now this might look a little bit weird, but what that means is d is 180 multiplied by 3 divided by 5. Now what we could do, we could multiply 180 by 3 and then divide by 5, but we can actually divide 180 by 5 to reduce this number, and then it'll be, the multiplication will be easier. 180 divided by 5, or 180 divided by 10 is 18, so if I double that, that would be the same as dividing it by 5, and 18 doubled is 36, so that is 36 times by 3. If you didn't follow what I just said there, you could always just do some bus stop division. For 36 times 3, maybe just do some column multiplication. 3 6s are 18, carry 1, 3 3s are 9, plus 1 is 10, so the answer is 108. Okay, so for this question we know that Andrew is at this point here and he's going to Glossop, then he's coming back and then going to New Mills. So it's 4 3/8 plus 4 3/8 plus 5 1/2. So let's just add up the whole numbers. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 5 is 13, so that's 13, plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 1/2. Now 3/8 plus 3/8 is 6/8, so that's 13, plus 6/8 plus 1/2. Now 6/8 is 3/4. Now how do I add 3/4 and a half? Well, I can turn a half into quarters, because 1/2 is 2/4. 3/4 plus 2/4 is 5/4, so 13 plus 5 over 4. 5/4 is the same as 1 1/4, so we get 14 1/4, which is our final answer. Probably gone a bit over the top with my workings out there, but I'm sure that will make sense. Okay, so here we need to work out the probability of prawn. Now we need to remember that the probabilities need to add up to 1. So first of all, what have we got? We've got 0.4 for beef plus 0.35 for cheese, which is 0.75. 1 take away 0.75 is 0.25. So the probability of selecting prawn is 0.25. Okay, so first of all we need to complete the two-way table. So we know that there are 200 workers, 112 in total in the warehouse, 88 in total in the office. So these rows, the top row adds up to 88, the second row adds up to 112, the bottom row adds up to 200, and these totals add up to 46, an unknown number, and 27. So what we're looking for here is a row or a column where there is just one number missing. So for example, we could look at the warehouse row, but it's probably easier looking at the coffee column. So if there's 46 in total and 8 are in the office, then the remainder are in the warehouse. So 46 minus 8, that is 38, so 38 goes there. We can also work out the number of people that chose water in the office. The people that chose water comes to a total of 27. 10 were in the warehouse, so therefore 17 were in the office. So now we can work out T in the office. We know the total comes to 88, and we have already dealt with 17 plus 8, which is 25. 88 minus 25, 8 minus 5 is 3, 8 take away 2 is 6, so T is 63. So the total for T is 63 plus 64, which is 127. When I put in this final number here, so I've worked this out by going down the column, I'll just double check going along this row that I get 200. Is 127 plus 27 plus 46 200? And you'll find it is. Question C, what's the probability that a worker choosing coffee works in the office? Right, let's focus on this. How many workers chose coffee? We're only looking at these people here. In fact, we're only looking at these people here. There are only 46 people that chose coffee. And what's the probability that out of those 46 he works in the office? Well, that is 8 out of the 46. And this fraction can be simplified because we've got an even number top and bottom. If we divide top and bottom by 2, we get 4 over 23. So that is the probability that a worker choosing coffee works in the office. And that takes us to the end of this section. Here are the video solutions for Pearson Edexcel Functional Skills Maths Level 2. This is section B, which is the calculators section from past paper 6. So let's take a look at question number 1. So it's asking us for the average speed, so we need to remember that speed is the distance divided by time. If you don't remember that formula, then it's going to be very difficult to get going on this question. So the speed is the distance is 87 miles, and the time is 1.5 hours. Since the distance is in miles and the time is in hours, that means we're going to get a speed in miles per hour, which is good, that's what we want. And 87 divided by 1.5 is 58, so that is 58 miles per hour. Use a reverse calculation to show a check of your answer. Well, we have just done 87 divided by 1.5 to get 58. So all I need to do now is just do 58 multiplied by 1.5, and do I get 87? Yes, I do, so there's my check. Question number 2, we want to work out the mean number of tries. So here we want to just create this column here, so total tries. So in 3 matches he didn't score any, so that's a total of 0. In 7 matches he scored 1 try, so that's a total of 7 tries. In 11 matches he scored 2 tries, so that is 11 times by 2, which is 22 tries. So as you can see, we're just multiplying the first and the second column together. I'm just trying to put it into words and explain why we're doing that. 9 matches he scored 3 tries, so that is a total of 27 tries. How many tries did he score in total? Well, that's 7 plus 22 plus 27, which is 56. So the mean number of tries he scored is the total number of tries, which is 56, divided by the number of matches he played in, which is 30, and that is 1.86 recurring. So you could, it doesn't really say how it wants the answer, and it's a bit of an unusual answer given you can only score a whole number of tries, but why not? I might just round that to 1 point. I don't think it really matters what you do. You could round it to 1.9 or 1 point, just truncate it at 1.86 or round it up to 1.87 to 2 decimal places. I'm sure it'll be fine. There we go. Right, moving on to B. So Brian wants to compare 2 teams. Team A has a range of 3 and Team B has a range of 4. Which team is more consistent? So we need to remember that the greater the range, the less consistent. So the smaller the range, the more consistent. So the more consistent team is the one which has the shorter range, so it's simply Team A, and the reason is because the range is less. Question number 3. Okay, the head teacher at school is organising for some Year 7 and some Year 8 pupils to go on a school trip. 72 people in total will go on the trip, and there's 1 adult to every 5 pupils. Okay, so this is 72 people, so this 72 includes the adults. This isn't the number of pupils. So we know the ratio of adults to pupils is 1 to 5. So what that means is 1/6 are adults and 5/6 are pupils. Why are we dealing with sixths? Well, that's because 1 plus 5 is 6. So 1/6 of 72 are adults, and that means 72 divided by 6 are adults, and 72 divided by 6 is 12 adults. Okay, so if there are 12 adults, then that means there are 72 minus 12, which is 60 children. and we know they're broken down into years 7 and 8, and the ratio is 3 to 1. So year 7 to year 8 is 3 to 1, so that means 3/4 are in year 7 and 1/4 are in year 8. We're dealing with quarters because 3 plus 1 is 4. 1/4 of 60 is 15, so year 8 is 15, and if 1/4 is 15, then 3/4 is 3 times 15, which is 45, and the 12 adults, 45 plus 15 is 60, plus 12 is 72, which was the total we were given at the start, so we know that that is correct. And question number 4. So what we need to do here, we know that the maximum is, well, we've got two choices here. We can either convert the 4.2 metres into feet or the feet into metres. Given that we've got feet to metres here, we know that if 1 foot is 0.3048 metres, then 14 feet is going to be 14 times 0.3048 metres, and 14 times 0.3048 is 4.2672. 4.2672 is greater than 4.2, so Josh is okay. He can get his lorry under the bridge. Use a reverse calculation to show a check of your answer. Well, we have just done 14 times 0.3048 to get 4.2672. So what we can do is 4.2672 divided by 0.3048, and do we get 14? Yes, we do, so we know we're okay. So question number 5, we know that Yasmin starts off with £4,000, and this is going to be increased twice by 3%. Now, if you're working out 3% of an amount, you would use the multiplier 0.03. I would multiply 4,000 by 0.03 if I wanted to work out 3% of 4,000. I could do that. I could work out 3% of 4,000 and then add it on. But there's a much easier way to apply a percentage increase, which is we just add 1 to the basic multiplier. So what I need to do is multiply this not by 0.03 but by 1.03, and that will increase it by 3%. So I have to do this twice, so I could do times 1.3 times 1.03, or I could do times 1.03 squared. That would be exactly the same thing. And then for year 3, well, we could work out this calculation and then apply the next percentage increase to it, but we can do it all in one hit. The multiplier for 2.5% is 2.5 divided by 100, which is 0.025, and again, to increase, we would just add 1 to that, so we will be multiplying by 1.025. So 4,000 times 1.03 squared times 1.025 comes to a total of 434969. So she's a little bit short because she wants 4,500 for the car. So how much short is she? Well, we just need to do 4,500, take away 434969, and that comes to £150 and 31 pence. So there we go, 150.31. Done. Okay, question number 6. Write down the coordinates of point A. Well, with coordinates, we need to remember we go along the corridor and up the steps, so horizontal then vertical. So going horizontally to -4 and then down to -2. So -4, -2. Part B, mark with a cross the point C on the grid so that ACB is a right angle. So first of all, let me just get rid of these workings here that might confuse us a little bit. So we want to make a right angled triangle. So, and there are a couple of options here. For me, the most obvious one is I can turn this into a right angled triangle if I just draw straight lines going horizontally from A and vertically down from B to this point here. And this has coordinates 1. Do I even need to write the coordinates, or just, no, it just says mark with a cross the point C. So there we go, point C. Another option is we could put point C up here as that would also work. That would be a right angled triangle too. So 2 options there. Write down the sum of the interior angles of a triangle. Well, there's nothing that I can do to really explain this. Hopefully this is just something that you know automatically. The angles in a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. Question number 7, find the median number of tweets. Okay, so what we need to do is, well, first of all, we need to remember that the median is the middle value, but it's only the middle when they are in ascending order. Now, we need to order these numbers here. So the lowest is 325, next is 452, next is 712, then 744, then 750, then 1022. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values. When you've got an even number of values, we're not going to get 1 in the middle, we're going to get 2 in the middle. So what I would do now is cross one off the left and the right, repeat that process until we get 1 or 2 in the middle. Here we've got 2 in the middle. So the median is exactly halfway between 712 and 744. Now, if this was 8 and 10, the median would be easy to work, it would just be 9. But what is halfway between 712 and 744? Well, what we can do is add the two numbers together. 712 plus 744 is 1456, and just divide this number by 2. Basically just work out the mean of these two numbers. So 1456 divided by 2 is 728, so that is the mean, 728. In 2019, 6% of the tweets were about job vacancies, so we need to work out 6% of 750. Now, to work out a percentage of a total, we need to use a multiplier, which is the percentage, well, it's the decimal equivalent of the percentage. So in other words, it's this number divided by 100, so 0.06 multiplied by 750, and that comes to 45. Okay, question number 8. So we need to be careful here because not to be confused with feet and meters. So what I'm going to do first of all is work out the area of this the front of the stables. It's a rectangle and a triangle. So the rectangle, let me just rectangle area. This is nice and easy. That's just 28 times by 5, and 28 times 5 is 140. Remember that that is square feet, not square meters. And the triangle area, remember that's the base times the height, so 28 times by 4 divided by 2, and that is 56 square feet. So the total area is 140 plus 56, which is 196 square feet. Okay, so what we need to do is turn it into square meters. So 196, just use this formula here, divided by 10.764, and that comes to 18.208843. Now, one tin covers 7 square meters, so how many 7s go into this number here? So 18.208844 divided by 7, that equals 2.6 something something, but obviously you can't buy 0.6 of a can, so we're going to have to round up, so we're going to have a bit of extra paint here, so we're going to be buying 3 tins. So that's going to be 3 times by £6.45, and 3 times £6.45 is £19.35, and that is that question complete. So £19.35p. Okay, so for question 9, the first thing we need to do is to draw in a line of best fit. Now, a line of best fit is a straight line which you would use a ruler for that goes through the centre of all these data points, trying to keep more or less an equal number of data points above and below the line. Now, I could ask 10 students to do this line and they might come up with 10 slightly different lines, but they might all be perfectly valid. So a line of best fit like this is too low, this is too high. Again, we're trying to go right through the middle, so it would be, something like this would be perfectly okay in my opinion. So I'm not going to count the number of dots that are above and below. That looks about right to me. That will be fine. Okay, so that's part A done. So describe the correlation between the number of pairs of thermal socks sold and the temperature. Okay, so first of all, the fact that we can draw a line of best fit tells us there is a correlation, and because the line is going down, then there is a negative correlation. So to put that into context, as the temperature increases, the number of pairs of socks sold decreases. Okay, so for part C, we want to estimate the number of pairs of thermal socks you will sell next month, and the predicted temperature is 5 degrees. So we want to find 5 degrees, so we've got the temperature along the bottom, we're going up in 2, so 5 degrees is here. So all I need to do is take this line up to my line of best fit and go across. My line of best fit is quite a thick line, so if you're using a sharp pencil you might get a better line of best fit and have a bit more accuracy here. But as far as I'm concerned, 5 degrees gets you 40 pairs of socks sold. If you're not getting 40, hopefully you're getting something relatively close to 40. If you're not getting 40, it could be 40 is not 100% correct, then that could be because your line of best fit is slightly different, or your line of best fit is not quite as thick as mine is. But as long as you're showing that you're using the right system to go to 5 degrees, go up to the line of best fit and across, then whatever number you get, provided your line of best fit is semi-accurate, then the answer will be acceptable. Okay, question number 10. So we can see we've got the plan of the kitchen here with doorways and windows, and these are all the cupboards, and Chris is putting in a fridge and a table. Okay, now we know that 1 square represents 0.3 meters. Now 0.3 meters, that is 30 centimeters. So 30, 60, 90, etc, etc. So it's probably easier thinking of the scale as 1 square is 30 centimeters. So we know that the fridge is a rectangle 90 centimeters by 60 centimeters. So how many 30s go into 90? Well, that is 3. And how many 30s go into 60 is 2. So on the grid, the fridge is going to be a 3 by 2 rectangle with the longest side against a wall, but not against a window. Okay, so I'm going to put the fridge here, 3 by 2. There is my fridge. Hopefully this will work. Now the table is 60 by 25, so if I divide both of these by 30, that is going to be 2 by 2.5. So the table is a rectangle 2 by 2.5, and it must be 60 centimeters away from the doorways, the cupboards, the fridge, and the table is not against a wall. So if it's 60 centimeters away, each square is 30 centimeters, so it must be 2 squares away from the doorways, the cupboards, the fridge. Okay, so if it's 2 squares away from the doorway, it must be on this side of this line. It must be to the left of this line, to the left of this line, and it also must be the same distance away from the fridge as well. So it must be above this line. And what were the dimensions of it again? It was a 2 by 2.5. So I can just do 2 by 2.5 like so, and that is our table. In fact, I could probably move it across a little bit as well. I could even make it flush with this line, and that would still work. So there's a couple of options for the table here. Let me just double check all the criteria here. So the table is 2 by 2.5, and it must be at least 60 centimeters away from the doorways, the cupboards, fridge, and it's not against the wall. That seems okay to me. So there we go. We've now got question 10 completely sorted. Okay, let's move on to question number 11. So the first thing we need to do is, it does say here, he thinks the payment he makes in week 6 is more than the median payment he made for the previous 5 weeks. So what is the median for the previous 5 weeks? So the median, remember, is the middle value, but it's only the middle value when they are put in order. So we need to order this data here. I'm just going to make a bit of a shortcut by not writing out the number in full. So the lowest is a 47, the next is a 62, then it's the 74, then 81, then 92. So the middle one, chop off one on the right and the left, do it again, and it's the 74 one. So now let's get it correctly as 74.80. So that is the median value. Okay, so what we need to do now is work out how much he pays the referee and his 2 assistants. So the referee is going to receive £36 plus 46 times 30 pence. So if this is in pounds, then I might put the 30, well, I think it's a very good idea to put the 30p into pounds as well. So it's 46 times 0.30. And we can do this in one calculation on the calculator if you're confident that your calculator will do BIDMAS, which it probably will do. And that comes to, otherwise just do 46 times 0.3 equals, and then plus 36 to it, and that should come to £49.80. So for assistant number 1, it's going to be a similar calculation, 27 plus 14 times 30 pence, and that comes to £31.20. And for assistant 2, again very similar, it's 27 plus 23 times 0.30, and that comes to £33.90. So the total that he pays, or the total due to the 3 officials, is £49.80 plus £31.20 plus £33.90, which is £114.90. Now, Nigel doesn't pay this full amount. It says that he pays 67%. So we want to work out 67% of 114.90. So the calculation is 0.67 multiplied by 114.90. This is the percentage multiplier for 67%. It's the decimal equivalent of this number. It's this number divided by 100. And 114.90 times by 0.67 comes to £76.983. So we'll just say £96 and £76.98. The median, as we said before, was 74.80. So I've forgotten what Nigel is. Nigel correct? Nigel thinks the payment he makes in week 6 is more than the median. Yeah, so Nigel is correct. He pays £76.98, which is greater than £74.80, and done. Okay, and the final question, question number 12. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out the volume of 7 chocolate blocks. So one chocolate block is going to be 19 times 14 times by 0.75, but there are 7 of them, so I'm going to multiply all of that by 7, and that comes to 1396.5, and that is going to be cubic centimetres of chocolate. Okay, so now I'm going to work out the volume for one sweet. So the volume of one sweet, so that is 4/3 times by pi times by the radius, which is 2 cubed. And we want 45 of them, so I can simply multiply all of this by, actually I did say one sweet, so let's work that out first of all. Now it does say here that pi is 3.14, so don't hit your pi button. So 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 2 times 2 times 2, that comes to 33.493 recurring, and we want the volume of 45 sweets, so 45 sweets equals 33.493 recurring times by 45. This is still sitting on my calculator, so I'm just going to hit times 45, and that comes to 1507.2 cubic centimetres. So I forgot what the question was. She thinks 7 blocks of chocolate are enough, so she has 1396.5 of chocolate, but she needs 1507.2. So I forgot what her name was now. Tammy. Is Tammy correct? Tammy is not correct. She has, it was 1396.5 cubic centimetres of chocolate. I always find it quite annoying when you have to write the qualifying sentence at the end, but she needs 1507.2 cubic centimetres. Done. And that takes us to the end of this test.